Hello and welcome. You're watching D&D at UNT Presents The Hidden Stacks, a collaborative storytelling adventure brought to you by the University of North Texas Media Library with support from our amazing partners. I'm Lindsay Duke, the Outreach Coordinator at the Media Library, and today I will be the Dungeon Master for our journey. I've pulled together a story from the magical shelves of The Hidden Stacks, and over the next few episodes I'll be guiding our cast of very brave UNT students through a high-stakes fantasy quest filled with magic, memory, and mayhem. This show is part of our library's ongoing game programming, where we use games like Dungeons & Dragons and others to foster creativity, storytelling, and community. Each of our players is portraying an original character that they've made themselves in a world that is shaped by my plot twists and their choices. And on occasion, the weird and crazy dice roll. We're excited that you're here watching, and we are just, right? Everybody's excited to get this show started? Yeah. All right, so let's meet the party, and then we will take to the skies. Ethan.
All right, I am Ethan. I'm a biology major, and I am playing Warwick, who is a halfling warlock with a short stature and an even shorter temper. In spite of his young body, he claims to have lived for much longer than anyone alive today.
I'm Dax Labor, I'm a mechanical engineering major, and I'm playing Sirius Pompanos, a half-elf necromancy wizard who studies thanatology, though it came at the cost of both of his parents' lives. In a world like Ditanna, it's hard to tell if Sirius is chasing after ghosts or being chased by them.
I'm Riley Thomas. I'm an ecology major playing Winifred Lalou, a half-elf paladin returning home after 5 years of traveling the world and helping out those in need.
Hello, my name is Tiger Royal. I'm a marketing major, and I am playing Zayden Shadowblade, a brooding and dark, traumatized rogue tiefling on a warpath for vengeance. Also known as Pim by some others, and Pim is a little bit more interested in his artwork, a secret which might be discovered very soon.
Hi, I'm Xander, history major. I'm playing Darcy Goldenbrow, a human wizard who is a 6-foot ancient mess. He appears to be a freshly graduated student with a thirst for knowledge.
And I am Sarah Perdupre. I'm a theater major, and I am playing Bella Granwind, a dwarvish gnome from Kython with an appreciation for botany. Her hammer's name is Green Giant, and if you want to know it real intimately, forget that.
Okay, so now we know our party. So I'll start doing some lore building. Let's see, all ready? Okay, our story begins in the skies over the world of Ditanna. The 6 of you are on board the Lucky Bird, a rundown airship long past its prime that thrives on a mix of hope, spare parts, and the undeniable flair of its colorful but slightly under-resourced pilot, Captain Tovin. Most of you are simply making your way from the country of Diverna to the Esterly Empire. And, you know, for your own reasons, some are traveling home, some have business to get back to, some have vengeance in their minds. But we'll discover all of your stories as we travel. 2 among you, Sirius and Zayden, are on a more official mission. As part of the Esterly Empire's elite protective force known as the Fleet, you've been tasked with escorting someone who is quite special in the Empire, Dr. Tennant Trenton. He is a well-respected alchemical medic who is making his way home after an exciting 6 months of research abroad. He's been in Kython developing innovative healing agents and medical tools to benefit the Esterly Empire. Now that his sabbatical has come to an end, Sirius and Zayden, the fleet's commander Cassandra has entrusted you both with the important job of bringing Dr. Tennant back to Esterly, along with several crates of incredibly valuable, bespoke potions stowed away in the cargo hold of the ship. So, those are some stakes. The airship adventure is set to last about 7 days, and provided that the weather cooperates, you're on schedule. Your mission is to keep the doctor safe, look after the precious cargo, and watch out for each other over what may be a very surprising journey, because what's D&D without some surprises? All right. you have been together on this ship for a few nights, commingling with the other passengers. And as we end day 3, the skies are mostly clear, and for now you've just been enjoying the journey as passengers, even though the ship does have some things left to be desired in terms of, you know, the rooms aren't the best. It's a little smelly. Everybody's packed in like sardines. You guys, Sirius and Zayden, flew over in the most amazing airship, and you're having to fly back in the worst. And so it's been tough for the spoiled two amongst you. But you've been sharing conversations and experiences over meals and activities, and you've gone from strangers to casual friends. And, you know, at least most of you, hopefully not anybody's too angry at each other yet, but traveling is hard. So as the sun sets over the Lucky Bird, passing through pink and blue candy clouds, the crew begins setting up for the evening meal as passengers wait around for their cue to eat and come together at the tables. The ship is made up in 3 different levels. You've got the top deck, where most of the meals happen and the mingling, and most people stay up on the top deck during the day because it's just not nearly as stressful as the middle deck, where all the bunks are and everybody's just packed in like sardines, and then the lower deck is cargo. So you spend a lot of time on the top deck, and every evening the crew brings out tables, long tables, and food for dinner, and that's how you kind of end your nights most nights. So everybody's kind of standing around, other passengers. There's probably around 30 other passengers on board besides the 6 of you. And some people are really sunburned. Some people are, you know, they've been exposed all this sun for the day. And, you know, the captain, Captain Tobin, has been wandering around giving little orders and stuff. You've come to know him as a bit of an eccentric. He seems slightly intoxicated half of the time, but so far, nothing crazy has happened. While the swiftly approaching nightfall is beautiful to watch from your place amongst the sky, you're a bit relieved also to know that this trip is it's almost halfway over. The airship is cheap for a reason. It doesn't have the best accommodations. It's cramped, it's dark, and nobody wants to even sleep in the sleep capsules. So you're thinking in your head, yeah, day 3 over, almost there. So that's the sort of mode that everybody's in. But I do want to do a quick temperature check with everyone and just ask a little question to see how y'all are doing before we delve any deeper. So, Zayden, it has been a beautiful sunny day in the sky. Have you been taking a chance to work on your dragon painting?
Yes, absolutely. So, Zayden would have tried to have found some sort of refuge or just to escape from the crowd, hopefully by going up to the crow's nest to see if no one's up there, hopefully, and would have spent a significant amount of time just kind of crouched and hidden away. He's got crazy high stealth, so he's hidden away, and he's just looking up at the sky, and he has like a little, on his wrist, he has like a little mini note or mini sketchbook that kind of flips open, and it'll just be kind of sketching the clouds and thinking of a dragon that he's so brutally murdered and massacred. Oh, God. And if you were to look through it, it's just like dragon, 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 wilted flower, dead bodies on the ocean. It's awful, and but most of them are dragons, and he's haunted by his previous actions on a quest for the fleet a while ago.
Okay, so Zayden's going through some angst as he looks out on the sky.
Zayden angst, who would have thought?
So Sirius, as a researcher,
Yes.
You've heard of Dr. Trenton, but have you had a chance to corner him to ask questions or pick his brain? Because you're a really intellectual researcher person yourself.
It's something that I'm hoping to do now that everyone's had time to acclimate. Being on top of the ship here and having to make do with all the people who I'm more closely with day by day in the bunks and on the top deck has left me without much time to meet Trenton, but I'm very familiar with his work. It was something that I studied deeply. He knew my parents back so long ago, but this is the first time I've ever gotten to actually meet him and perhaps have the opportunity to collaborate with him. And I'm nervous, I'm shaking with excitement, and today will be the day that I get him.
Okay. Warwick, this has been one of the most peaceful, bloodless collections of days of your life. Have you been enjoying that, or is all of this very bored and frustrating to you?
Yeah, so let's see. People have seen this critter walking around a lot.
Yeah.
With just a scowl across their face. Wicked angry. Earlier today, somebody dropped their ring down a grate, and they were like reaching in there and they couldn't quite get it. And this little 17-year-old halfling girl came up, horribly sunburned, scars across the face, and she cast Mage Hand and picked up the ring. Like, here you go. And the family was like, thank you so much. And then 5 minutes later, everyone on the ship heard this girl shout, "What do you mean that's not a miracle? What do you mean? What do you mean that doesn't count?" So temperatures and tempers are boiling. This critter is itching for some action.
Yes, because Warwick has a lot going on. Right.
Oh dear.
All right, Winifred, you have not been home to the Esterly Empire for the last 5 years or so, as you've been exploring the Paladin's Oath that you've taken. Are you growing more nervous as you get closer to the shores of Esterly, or do you feel ready?
Winifred feels ready. She's met so many different kinds of people, good, bad, neutral, whatever. As on her journeys, she reads people really well now. She feels like she can handle it. She's ready to go home. She's been socializing. She's a happy-go-lucky girl, really, right now.
And you're just on a ship with a lot of strange people.
She seems stranger.
Bella, this is your first time out on a solo adventure. Has it been strangely freeing, or are you finding it challenging being away from home?
It's been a little challenging. Bella was not packed very well. Most of her bag was full of plants that she didn't want to die. Currently, she's sitting there on her bunk watering everything before going up to dinner. She did not pack an extra change of clothes. This is going to be a very interesting trip for everyone, including her.
Darcy, your life has been a little hectic lately. You've been doing a lot of trying to figure it out on your own. Do you feel like any of the people that you've met on board so far could maybe be an ally, or are you still sticking to the secrets and shadows that you carry?
No one on board. I do, maybe Sirius, I don't know.
What is it about Sirius?
He seems like he trusts me a little bit more than most folks would trust like a 6-foot person. Who's very, because I'm reserved, I'm by myself, but Sirius is very, he's also a wizard. He's done what I'm doing, so.
There's some wizardly bonding happening.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Well, then that's where we're all at. Cool. You guys are great. So, then we're just gonna move next into our dinner phase, or the evening is here. You see Captain Tovin. He's a middle-aged human man with dark hair and a beard. He wears this long striped coat that it's just a strange look. He's very loud and ostentatious with his fashion. He swaggers. He's got all of it going on. And he calls everyone together, for the evening dinner, and points up at the skies like, look at that sunset. That is what we do it for, folks. That's what we do it for. Great day. Everyone gets extra ale. We're making better than expected time. We're gonna make it back half a day early. Grab some grub. Let's do this. So you have now been given permission to go about the ship and start finding places to sit and to what kind of snacks you're gonna get. Table is yours.
Warwick is desperately looking for food to fulfill his carnivore diet. He's on that Liver King diet.
Red meat only.
He's getting the all the cuts of beef.
Yes.
He's looking for everything. He's chowing down. It's more than his little halfling stomach can handle.
The buffets are filled with, mostly safe to travel food, but now people they've made sure to save extra carnivorous stuff just so that they don't incur the wrath of Warwick.
They start shaking when they see this little halfling girl coming.
Yes.
She like physically like small, but with every step it feels thunderous.
Speaking of physically small, Bella is actively having trouble reaching the buffet. So what she's gonna do is she is going to stomp over to this one. Hey, tall, handsome. Hey.
I do not like you calling me that. I fear that if you.
What do you want me to call you? Short? You're 6 foot.
Not handsome. In like you don't like being called short. Do you want me to start calling you short, even though you have repeatedly asked me to? Every time you call me handsome, I say don't do that, and you do it again.
Fine. You come help me get food.
What if I said no? I'm.
If you said no, you'd have to talk to Green Giant about it.
Out of curiosity, sorry to interject, are there any there wouldn't be like a popcorn equivalent that I could be like reaching for right now?
Yes, I think we're gonna make some popcorn. There's suddenly a magical bowl of popcorn that you can scoop up.
I will take my mage hand and I will start throwing them.
No, you're
I'm right there. I'm right there.
I am actively doing something, and have you tried maybe asking someone else who is not me?
Well, I don't know, you're one of the only tall people I know on this entire ship, okay?
Maybe someone of moderate stature would be able to help assist you.
I also half trust you.
Interesting.
Half.
No, it's very fair.
You know what? Zayden will have actually appeared at this time, having scrambled down from the crow's nest after hearing that food was available, and would get a plate, silently would get a plate for you and just sort of gesture asking which ones do you want on the plate.
Oh. I don't care, just give me some meat and veggies or whatever.
Puts it on, hands it, and then sort of sullenly kind of looks around at the clouds as if looking for something from his past. In reality, he's thinking, would that cloud make a good composition? Maybe that one.
Appreciate it, tall,
And then
dark,
there's
and
a
dorky.
tap on your shoulder. Zayden, I'm like subtly, but like not subtle at all. I'm like, have you seen Tenet? Have you seen
Serious, you
I
also
sure
want
hope
to talk?
so, since you're supposed to be protecting him.
You also. That's right, you're protected. I'm sorry, I also want to talk to him. He's very knowledgeable.
Have you seen him, Darcy?
How come everyone's looking for him right now?
Well, I mean, like, I'm looking.
Well, I mean, come on, it's Dr.
I know
Tenet.
we are, but it's
It's supposedly your jobs,
Yeah, you are.
and I'm
It's
there
proprietary.
just in case
It's
you two aren't
proprietary.
you doing your jobs.
I too seek the wisdom of this Trenton Tenet.
Tenet Trent.
He's quite interesting.
I do not believe in
He's fun to
surnames.
speak to.
when did you get here?
Yeah.
Would someone like to make a perception check?
Yeah, please. Can I do that? I was about to ask.
Yeah. Do a group perception check, and I'll see which one of you
Group
completely
perception.
bungles is like,
Perception.
that guy.
5.
Oh, I got a natural
Got a five.
20.
How is natural 1?
You go up to a stranger, and you're like, I definitely know you're not it, but are you?
There's like someone, I tap them on the shoulder, they turn around, it's very much not Tenet Trenton.
It's like when you see your mom in you see your mom in a grocery store. It's not your mom. It's the most embarrassing.
Yeah, I got a natural 20.
Sweet. So what you can see is that at one of the long tables, already sitting, because Tenet is very good at airship food and is always first in line to get the good stuff. Tenet has already found like a little space, and even a little space where he seems like he's made room for others, maybe thinking that others will come and talk to him because he's a chatty person and he likes to bond with people on the ship. Tenet is a half elf, but mostly elf. He is a skinny, skinny guy with like light brown hair, and it's very messy and moppy. And sometimes he's got glasses and sometimes he doesn't. But currently he's wearing a purple cloak and this really interesting green vest that he wears most of the time that's made of like live moss. So he can sometimes pulls the moss off and makes things with it. He's tall, skinny, medium length hair. It's hard to tell how old he is because he does still look like he looks like he's in his 30s, but he's elvish. So what does that mean? Yeah, so he's already at the table with a plate, and we'll make a gesture at somebody he'll make a gesture at you since you spotted him. Just be like, hello. So.
Yeah, Warwick would like to go up to Tenet and sit in the nearest chair possible to him. Of course, very short, so kind of has to like push himself up in the chair, and like his feet aren't reaching the ground, but he's trying to act cool. Potion maker.
How's your day been?
Miserable as always. I have a question of you.
Absolutely.
Indeed.
I may have an answer.
Your regents and drafts.
Yes.
By any chance, have you ever crafted such a substance that could alter the body of an individual, perhaps return them to their prime or alter their gender?
I mean, that's not my specialty, but I do know of potions makers and even wizards who have dabbled in things like that. If you would like me to find references for you, if you are interested in that sort of magic. The thing with that sort of magic is that is very, 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 very expensive. It costs a lot, not just for the wizard, but to generate the energy necessary magically to transform something. It usually does come at a cost.
And hypothetically, if I were asking for one of our dear crewmates, how much would that cost someone?
I think it depends on how extensive. It's several thousand gold.
And if it were very expensive?
20?
Oh dear. Censor that, I'm sorry. Crud. Fiddlesticks.
Yeah.
You know, I have been meaning to speak with you because you are a bit of a history expert, aren't you?
Indeed, I have a +8.
You sometimes speak about Esterly as if you've lived its past. I'm very curious to hear your thoughts on, especially now with the war and everything that's happened. It's a very different country these days.
Oh, you can tell me about it. Back in my day, it was eye for eye, leg for leg. Men would knife each other in the streets. It was lovely. The people of nowadays are soft, yellow-bellied cowards, I swear.
Indeed. I should ask you more about that later.
Indubitably.
Indubitably. But yes,
I have much to tell.
I'll find some references for you. If you're looking for them in Esterly, I can think of a few people you could speak with.
I appreciate it.
So,
Zayden is serious. Yeah, we all rush. We all rush.
Intercept.
Yeah. I think that Sirius and Zayden would also kind of walk over. Are you still sitting there as well?
Yeah, dangling his feet off the chair.
Are you like sitting next to?
Yeah, right next to Tren.
The idea was we like flank and then we're both there because we're like guards, but I don't really. That one scares me. I don't want to tell him to move.
While they're commiserating,
He's got a real.
Do you want to like?
About him. I don't think I can even outdark him. It's like.
Zayden, literally just go.
while
Yeah. What do you want to do?
Sorry, while they're commiserating, I want Bella to walk over and take the seat on the other side of Trent.
Bella! It's great to see you.
Daddy, yeah. You doing okay?
I've been enjoying my day. How are you and how are your plants? Are they traveling well?
They're doing okay. You know, my chamomile's having a little bit of trouble after transplanting. A little worried about that. But my lily's doing good.
Yeah. But you never really did tell me why you were traveling over to Esterly. I should have asked, but I figured maybe you weren't quite ready to open up about it, but I never thought you would want to leave Kython.
Yeah, I never thought I would ever want to either. But you know, it's a big empire.
Yeah, change is good when you're young. You
Yeah.
should see the world.
Yeah, change is real good. Yeah. How's the food? You like the food?
Oh, I love Sky food. I don't know why. It's probably because I grew up very poor, and I think that it tastes better with chemicals and salt in it. So sometimes you crave terrible food.
Yeah, it reminds me. Never mind.
I was unaware that you cultivated plants, Bella.
What? You couldn't tell by the plants I got in my beard, in my hair? I like plants. We already established this.
I assumed you had just spent time in the forest. Are they deadly poisons, sedatives, and reagents for horrifying potions?
She raises a finger, goes down, takes out a little pouch, digs through. A couple spill out. It's clearly a bag of seeds. This one will make you barf.
Oh, we will need to discuss later.
I like the cut of your jib.
I have a dear friend who is searching for something quite like that.
You got friends?
As a doctor, I do need to
No.
tell you it's usually better to keep your food inside
two
you
gonna
than
go do your
not so
job?
much outside of you.
We're coming up with a strategy.
He is not that scary.
Oh, okay, fine. I'll do it.
I'll go.
No, I'll take a.
I will also go.
I'll take a
You want to go
seat
together?
Yes.
I'll take a seat next to the scary one.
Oh, wait, you're gonna do that?
It'll be all right.
I'll go sit next to
Serious, I
to.
poke you.
You
Across
green cloaks
from,
playing
we are
too
on
much.
all one side of the table, guys. Sit across from him.
Yeah, I'm also going to sit next to Winifred across from everyone.
Well, welcome everyone. It's so good.
trapezoidal.
Everyone's coming to sit down. It's great. I've not really had a chance to.
Sirius wanted to
them.
talk to you.
Why would you do that?
Serious, I have wanted to speak with you as well. I've kind of
Really?
wondered why we haven't had a chance. I thought perhaps I had angered you or something.
No, not at all. I'm just
I do.
just a big fan of your work. I've read it ever since I was little.
I'm a huge fan of your parents, and I would love to read your work in particular because I assume you're just as bright as they are.
Yes. I unfortunately I left my notes down in the bunks, but whenever so the potions that you're working on.
Yes.
I'm deeply fascinated by them. I haven't obviously peeked into the cargo or anything, but is there anything that you might be willing to tell us about them?
I mean, absolutely. They are very unique. They're of my own creation. I've been experimenting with things that actually brought me to reading a lot of your parents' work. I'm noticing from my experience, especially during the war in Esterly, that there's a lot of magic, healing magic and death magic that echo. And I've started to explore where those echoes intertwine and reverberate, and it's very curious. There's a lot of hope I'm finding that we may be able to do a lot more than I ever thought.
Yes,
So yes, we should definitely speak.
I would love to. The echoes of life and death were entirely it was everything that my parents wanted, and it was everything that I now search for too.
How are they? They've not published in a while. Oh, are you estranged?
No, in a sense, but not the way that you imagine.
Oh, they're dead.
They're not dead. They're just on that side of the fence.
Just guessing.
No, you can have corpses in the world of the living. You can have living in the world of corpses.
They're in stasis?
I don't know where they are, but they were taken across the veil, across the boundary between life and death too soon, but not in the way that they died young, but in the way that they're alive, but somewhere beyond this time, this place, their souls, their still living souls, are trapped in a misty gray, in the purgatory, in
They're in stasis.
Wait, that's...
It's what I've been working on. It's very interesting. I don't know if I believe in coincidences, but that is very interesting. I'm very sorry to hear about that, but I don't want to offer you any hope or not, but I do know more about stasis than most people. You have to imagine life and death. Life on one side, death on the other, and we pretend that there is this wall. But there's actually two walls, and there is a space in between. And when souls pass from one side to the other, sometimes they are stuck in between. They are not in death or life, they are caught. And what you're describing, this gray, that is where I'm learning to siphon health potions, health energy.
You're
Buying time.
taking souls of dead people.
I'm not taking any souls. I'm manipulating the stasis point in between life and death to pause a heartbeat so it does not stop.
like drawing water from the ocean but not taking the fish.
The veil in between sustains everything. It has so much more power than what we usually use, like holy water for health potions being sent down from a blessing from the sky, or praying and getting a sunbeam and it cures you. Ditanna herself has boundaries.
So you're able to draw power from stasis, but tell me, are you able to interface with it in a more direct way? Is it like...
Never occurred to me that a person really could be trapped there, but now that it is possible.
I have a dense tome. I've traveled all over the world. I've talked to thousands of different cultures and the way that they interact with death and how they move their thoughts behind how souls transfer over from here. We must collaborate on this.
I would be very, very proud to, especially since what my next phase is going to be. I could use a mind like yours around. Perhaps when we're back in Esterline, we've settled, I will help you. I can't make promises, as I don't like to make promises.
No, you owe me nothing, but I would be honored to be a part of your work.
I would like your parents back so I can pick their brains.
I would too.
Since you are siphoning like death energy, does that mean that the potions could also work for undead?
I think I have a working theory that I can't quite confirm yet, but I think that the undead is where they pull their magic from stasis. I think vampires, undead spirits, I think ghosts, I think they all pull from it, and that's why sometimes they're harder to kill. They have immortality, because it's pulling from the atoms around us, the building blocks, and they're infinite. And so they sustain themselves, but they are not quite one or the other. And so, but when you can tap into them and bring them over safely, it's like having a battery that never goes out.
I have looked at life from both sides now.
And I'm starting to believe that you have.
Be warned. You talk of retrieving from the other side, but to cross the veil levies a very high price, one I am intimately familiar with.
What do you mean by that? Like, what price have you paid?
My body and soul are held hostage. You think I choose to take this pitiful form? Look at me. I'm a small girl, where once I was the most imposing and mightiest man in the world.
Hey, hold on. Are you saying something bad about small girls?
Hold on now. Men would tremble at my approach. My voice echoed for miles, and now I can hardly lift a pen in the morning.
They tremble at the sound of my voice, too, I'll have you know.
Well, they don't tremble at mine. That's the problem. Also, you know, the whole This guy. And he points to the golden pseudo-dragon flying
I'm
around
very
him.
curious as to know what your relationship is with your dragon, but I'm starting to suss out that I think it may be a little more complicated than I thought.
Indeed.
Winifred, you're a paladin as well, and I don't suppose you have any sort of thoughts or wisdom about this whole crossing the boundaries of life and death thing.
Not intimately, no. I've just witnessed it.
Yes, we did speak briefly. You've seen a resurrection.
Yeah.
I have not seen one. I've only heard the reports of what they look like afterwards. And everyone's is different because of their own magic, but I'm very curious to know. I collect each one. I would love to hear the story of what happened there.
It was quite intense. There's blinding lights and magic, and it was strange to hear the formerly deceased speak of their experience. It is what made me decide to become a paladin. I witnessed it, and it solidified my faith. There's nothing like it.
And it was, how long had the person been dead for?
It was not very long. It was maybe a couple minutes before their ally returned to them.
Yes, those are easier, I suppose. The longer time, the farther you get from your own body.
Indeed. A rudimentary revivification.
But data nonetheless. Very interesting. Very interesting dinner. Hello, pass the potatoes. I'm still hungry. Thank you.
I require more lamb.
What, there's lamb?
But you are a healer. Have you thought about what you're going to be doing in Esterly?
Mostly returning home, so.
Well, if you need a more long-term position, I am looking for more healers for my clinic.
All right.
So I like the cut of your jib. You travel well, so you can come find me in Esterly if you need
Wonderful.
It's like a little job fair. Out of character.
to. Job fair. Hey guys, now where's your resumes? Cover letters?
Here you
Are
go.
they personalized cover letters?
Oh, wait, I know, it's stock.
I need a resume. Simply know that I am the best.
The last thing, you're like, I know Quicken, I know Photoshop, I know how to kill 10,000 people.
5 years Java, 10,000 on the fields of battle.
True.
Bella's resume, but it's just a picture of Green Giant, and that's it.
Zayden, you're definitely from Esterly, aren't you? Your accent tells me that you are.
Yes.
But you've never been to Koshvar, have you?
No, I don't believe I have.
I mean, they were our enemy, so I wouldn't blame you, but it's very strange. You just remind me of someone who I know from Koshvar, who, I don't know. We'll have to talk later. You may be connected somehow. He's one of my very close friends, another tiefling. Sorry, I didn't mean to go down memory lane here.
Zayden, could it be your uncle? The one who...
Yeah. Yes. This symbol here. Is
Yeah.
it familiar?
No, that looks like a trinket from the markets. They sell them in Parish a lot.
It's not a trinket. It's a symbol. My evil Uncle Liam, who usurped my title.
I don't know of any Liams in Esterly with a title.
Liam Siegel, the family name Siegel. Very prestigious.
I know a lot of people in Esterly. I don't know him. Interesting. Maybe things have changed.
Well, he's definitely there, and I'm hunting for him somewhere.
Oh,
All right.
Trenton, your wisdom in regards to alchemy is fascinating, but your knowledge of the great Zayden Shadowblade leaves much to be desired.
Thank you.
I should sit back and let you tell your stories. I prefer them that way.
Oh, don't get me started.
My accent, I'm sorry, my accent comes out every now and then. I'm not from the same place as you, but I'm similar, and the longer I'm away, the more it comes out.
That makes me, on the topic of other stories, that Darcy, I'm interested in, you're an academic as well, right?
Yes.
What have you studied?
things. You know, at the wizard school in my town, you know, general wizard stuff. Definitely not
There's
weird
a
guy
lot-
with a book.
There's a lot of fields of wizardry.
Yeah.
There's no general wizard stuff.
Yeah, so we discover new fields every
There's
Passing
there's
moment.
general wizard stuff.
general wizard studies.
Like fireballs.
Yeah, like it just
It's always important to learn the basics.
yeah, like
What's your field? Like, you tell us nothing.
yeah. I mean, I've done do some things.
Are you feeling all right?
Yes.
Yeah, you're looking a
I'm
little
fi-
pale.
I'm sorry.
Fine.
I'm sorry. I it is just my doctor nature. I can sometimes pick up on spikes on things, and you just seem very yes, your blood pressure is very interesting. You might want to take a nice rest every now and then. Make sure you're not getting too stressed as we travel.
Okay.
I'm sorry,
strange boy.
I didn't mean to cause you any sort of like.
No, it's
Exactly,
no,
I
it's a good question that I should answer. Most people don't react the way that they should. I've had very rude encounters.
Interesting. One
It-
of the
it-
more fringe studies.
Yes. It's very similar to what you studied, but more frowned upon. Not similar at all. Never mind. I lied because you do necromancy.
Thanatology, actually.
Necromancy.
Necromancy is
This is-
raising the dead, and most people like to stay that way.
You see Tennant as he's listening, he also kind of sits back a little bit and looks uncomfortable, and he fiddles with this yellow stone on on a necklace that he has around his neck, and you see him fiddle with it a little bit, and then he kind of relaxes, but then you've seen him mess with this necklace a lot over the last few days.
Can I roll an Arcana check on it?
Yes.
Darcy, that's a nat one.
Oh,
Darcy is way too flustered to properly analyze that.
You think, oh, man, that's a really interesting souvenir. I didn't see that at the gift shop.
Is it possible to roll like an insight or
Yeah.
a perception on the crowd around to see if there's some sort of reaction from the touching the amulet?
And
Yes.
By any chance, would Warwick have some historical knowledge of this that he could roll history?
He may have some guesses. If you have arcane knowledge, you can do arcane knowledge.
Okay, Arcana.
Is there?
The 12.
Is it like obvious that anyone at the table is like doing this? Because I would like to help help on an Arcana check, but I just don't know
I think
if
you're
Sirius
asking
would have
different
noticed.
questions, so I think you should all roll different arcana checks.
You know what? I'm okay with that.
Warwick's not going to roll. He's kind of clueless in the realm of the Arcana.
You're picking up when you looked around the room. You don't see anything. Nobody. It's not like he's casting a secret spell and everybody's zonked out or something like that. But yeah, he just seems more tense than he was.
I've got a 14 on an Arcana check.
Okay. You recognize the, now that you're closer and actually having a conversation, you realize that this chain has this very delicate yellow stone, like a yellow diamond.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look very closely, you see it pulsing.
Huh.
And if you really think about it, it kind of reminds you of a heartbeat.
Intéressant.
Interesting. Well, I suppose we should get back to conversation. Bella, you know Trenton, don't you?
Yeah, we used to go to the same greenhouse back home.
Bella helped me learn all the plants so I could make Kython-specific potions. You know, locally grown, locally sourced health potions.
That I did. It was good stuff.
I am very eager to be back in Esterly, though. It's been great to be able to travel, but I was not quite comfortable having to leave the Empire after everything. But the travel and the research is necessary, and also the war. I suppose most of you probably were familiar with it. It needed a bit of a break from it all.
Indeed. It has been thousands of years since I placed foot upon that wretched continent. I hope that it shudders with fear at the feeling of my feet once more.
It's in the kind of shape that it probably will.
Perfect.
I've actually never been to Esterly.
Me neither.
Huh. What about you, Winifred? Have you been?
I'm from there.
Oh,
5 years.
did you not
Sorry.
pay attention to like
Sorry,
one thing
You must
besides
have
yourself?
tunnel vision.
There's a lot going on, and I'm fixating on
Don't you
Don't worry
things?
about it,
You
every-
also take notes like I do. Why? Did
Well,
you
it's down in my bunk. I
Why?
don't bring it with. Well, it's considered rude to write down what people are saying during dinner, so I try to avoid it. It was a
seem
bad
fine
habit
with-
when.
They seem fine with me doing it. No one's complaining.
I mean, I'm not complaining, but it's a little weird.
It is a little bit suspicious that you're taking notes
a
about
little.
everyone.
Especially
A little.
when you don't discuss what you are like studying.
It's like,
or
oh, what are you
anything.
writing down about me?
Indeed.
No,
I do not
I can't
mind.
tell you.
No amount of notes will save you from me in battle.
Okay, I get a chill up my spine every time you speak. But it makes me.
Oh, you shouldn't say that. It's horrible for my
But
ego.
It does tempt me to want to hire you as my own personal bodyguard, but I don't know how that would work out because I feel like you're also a free spirit and does not want such a job.
I serve no master.
That's what I thought. That's what
What
I'd like
about
to hear.
the
Don't start!
Tell me, Fleet. I have not worked with the Fleet in a long time, but how are you liking your setup now that the war's over and it's more back to normal missions? How is Commander Cassandra?
Well, Cassandra's great, but the missions are far from normal anymore.
Right. It's they've been good. They've been good.
Well, she speaks very highly of you, and she's not a big talker, so I think she said something about being very proud about how you handled the Emperor's nephew issue in Morston, in particular. High praise from her. So
Yes, there was an overwhelming confluence of spirits. That town had a bit of an unrest to it.
and you solved it. What?
Your brow quivers, wizard. Do you suffer from shell shock?
No, it was shell shock isn't the right word.
Did I say something that upset you?
Are you
What?
alright?
No, of course not. I'm thinking of other dark.
Cassandra really
traumatic
does speak highly of you. But she's very
That's-
proud of the fleet, and she's particularly proud of your division because it's a lot of work, a lot of very dangerous work. And every time I've spoken to her, she's spoken about the morticulturalists and how well you deal with some of the more, they can be very dark things. I've seen dark things as well traveling in the fleet, so.
Yes, well, we're given a task and we complete it, no matter what. No matter how awful it might be. We push through.
That is exactly the attitude I know from Zayden Shadowblade. No matter how dark, disgusting, and horrible, you get it done. No matter who you have to kill in cold blood.
That's right, Ulrich. You got me pegged. You got.
I always do.
Why did you look at me when you said that? I'm very uncomfortable. What would you like to look at one specific page?
Well, that seems even more suspicious.
No.
You're keeping
I
the
can show all of you. Some of
I
you.
feel comfortable.
Some of you might just be like, because I don't say all my thoughts and feelings out loud, because then you guys wouldn't like me.
I mean, your notebook's literally covered in blood.
Wait, is it? I thought that was paint.
No, it's blood.
Oh, hey, maybe you got more of a spine than I thought you did.
Indeed, perhaps you are deserving a modicum more respect than I had for you before.
Yeah, what he said.
Would you like to look at the page?
Yes.
Please, can we
Is it the
move
one
on
on
from
the
the subject?
bookmark?
It's the one that, yeah.
All right. New friends.
Don't read it out loud.
I'm
I'm
respectful.
shocked to see a wizard share their notes with someone else. It's usually their most precious item.
Winifred's very nice.
Okay.
May
I would
see
never
them?
share anything. I am extremely selfish.
Interesting questions about us.
Questions about us?
There's
questions about all of us.
Some of them are questions.
Well, I mean, allow me to be the first to say that I have questions
Tennant starts
about
like
most of you
fidgeting
anyway.
in his
so.
chair a little bit, and he's just like very uncomfortable.
Maybe
Maybe it's just
Zayden
indigestion. But
Zayden clocks that.
I don't.
Is there something that is concerning you?
oh no. Just I think I ate too many potatoes.
I would like to, out of deep concern for Trenton here, I would like to roll insight.
Insight. Roll your insight check.
Could we double insight? Could we?
Our little group fleet group
Our
thing here.
Fleet. Your
Mind
fleet
meld.
insight. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, that was terrible.
Oh, I got a 13. What do you get?
I got a 10. Awful.
Ah, he's so average.
We're so good at our jobs.
Up top.
What you've learned about Tennant in the few days is that he has a lot of passive wards and magic that he talks about, like when he pointed out that Darcy had a weird blood pressure. There's like a lot of passive magic that Tennant is able to do because of his medical training. So a lot of spells that you would usually use for like an alarm to protect something, he can put an alarm on a person to know if they've moved or something when they're supposed to like be stable. And like we know, basically like I know when my patient has woken up. That sort of thing.
Oh,
He
okay,
bends
but-
normal magic in very strange ways. So in this moment, it feels like something is messing with whatever wards he's been using, and he's getting tense, and he's fiddling with his amulet a lot, and is not comfortable at all.
This is just how people normally act around Warwick. Warwick does not notice anything is off.
Also, how people act around Darcy, so he's like, this is fine.
Both of you guys are like, oh, they're trembling around me, and it's like, oh man, good.
Yeah.
So yeah, tell me a fleet adventure. I'd love to know. What? Tell me anything.
Indeed, the adventures of Zayden Shadowblade. I am eager to learn more.
What's Cassandra taught you? Or has she gone with her on any adventures?
Well, I mean,
Preferably, we can. There's plenty more adventures than just the matter in Morston. But there's so many. Gosh, there's the time with the trolls.
there was the time with the trolls. What about? Oh, do you want to talk about the time that there?
The flesh-eating books was a pretty.
The flesh-eating books was bad.
It was a rough one.
I look at my bookshelf with a little bit of like fear now. It was really bad.
You have to have at least one flesh-eating book on attack on occasion. That's the nature of.
Academia. We can talk about the flesh-eating books if you want.
The flesh-eating books that we totally had. Yes. And we could also... I would also just like to ask real quick. You don't have any history with this symbol, but I do just want to just check. Have any of you seen this symbol before on a man? Liam Siegel. Liam Siegel.
No, I can assure you that I have not.
Well, you already know my answer, so.
Never heard of a Liam Siegel.
It was a dark, tragic past. Demon princes and disgusting sorts of all that.
Warwick, are you sure that you haven't seen that symbol? You seem to be pretty knowledgeable about this type of stuff.
It was really rough.
All right, just don't ask Darcy, I guess. That's cool.
You know who you should.
No, I don't.
You know who you should ask, because it seems to be that it is handmade. Did you make it yourself did you make it to show other people what it should look like, or did you just discover it?
You are skilled with a knife. I wouldn't be surprised if you.
No, of course, I would know.
It is. It's handmade. I've seen them sold in Esterly before.
You know, there's a lot of speculation going on around
They're
here
sold
right
by
now.
a very specific group of people, though. There's a artisan market run by tieflings.
That might be connected.
Your evil uncle runs a market of dark ones? Fascinating.
I don't know if that's the business that he's into now, but it could be. He's
Have
more
you heard of the Makers?
No, Is this possibly related to Liam?
Possibly, if this Liam is actually your uncle. I just don't know. I don't know a Liam tiefling maker. It's very interesting. You're ringing some bells upstairs for me, and I don't think that there's anything particularly evil about that token that you've got carried around, but it is handmade, and it is an artisan crafted it.
Describe these makers just a little bit more. It might ring a bell from my, again,
There's
trudging down past.
there's a covenant of tieflings from Koshvar who have been known to have particularly artistic skills. They paint, they sculpt, they are potters. They're very, very talented artisans. And in Koshvar, they live very insularly because Koshvar does not necessarily like them being there, but they are strict about not wanting to kick them out. But a few have moved to Esterly for their freedom, and I've had some friends. One of my friends was named Mythos. Mythos Maker.
Mythos Maker.
I have not seen
that's
him in
a
a while,
very good
but-
lead. Liam did have a thing for eccentric, blood, demon-y stuff. So,
They're not demons, they're artists.
well, they sound pretty evil to me. But if you just had like an address or something like that.
And Esterly, I'll take you to meet Mythos. If you would like to meet him.
Meet him and slice his throat
You have
open,
this-
no doubt.
Yes.
That's
yes,
what is
that is
confusing
exactly.
me about you is you have the same markings of his family, and it's a maker marking. They only have the lines under their eyes, and
I thought the family name was Siegel.
I also thought that was makeup.
No, this is 100% real.
curious. I mean, but there's hundreds of them. It's just a trait that shows up in their family. I'm surprised you hadn't known. That's what it's confusing to me. No, I'll write to Mythos. Maybe we can get some information from him for you.
Right. Good lead. Good lead. Just turning out very productive. He writes this out on his little notepad that actually, I guess only Warwick would really be able to see. It's a lot of dragons. A lot of dragons.
No doubt dragons you've slain with your mighty blade.
Oh, yes. I gotta quickly write Mythos Maker and then all right, that's it.
As you guys continue chatting and eating, Tina has basically stopped eating and is just kind of focused in on the zero space in front of him, and like, it looks like he's staring at mashed potatoes as if he's going to marry them. But mostly he's just kind of got this look of like quietly calculating things in his mind. And as you guys continue, there's definitely an energy shift happening around you. It's almost like the clouds around the airship are thicker, like they're getting thicker. It's still close to sunset, so you can see the blend of the moon and the sun. The colors of the sky are very strange. They're pretty, but it's a little overwhelming. And as you're sitting there, you start hearing this very strange sound of almost like a whistle cutting through the clouds. You should not be able to hear something so soft.
Is anyone?
And then there are creaks. And it's like the ship itself is creaking. And then, if you look towards the front of the ship, there's a huge bank of clouds that it cuts through. And then all of a sudden, coming through the bank of clouds, a single silver disc flies directly out and over you. And then immediately, 6 more discs, little flying discs, almost as big as like a dinner plate. And they have these strange arms on them, and they're metallic, and they're just hovering and diving over the ship. as they circle around.
I would like
And then-
to. Yeah, I was about to say.
I want to smack.
They start to swarm in these weird patterns, but then the clouds break again. And suddenly you are looking at this very strange, small, what looks to be a flying boat. If you're an airship, this is a boat. This is a little boat with like a small balloon type, metallic balloon on top, as if it's controlling and stabilizing it, but someone is flying a small, tiny airship at you. It has this scaffolding that carries the weight of the metal orb above it. The moonlight and the sunset's rainbow of colors make it hard for you to understand what you're seeing in a moment, but it's a small flying craft. It's the 10th of the size of the lucky bird, and you might not know what to call it, what it is that is flying at you, what it might be called, but it behaves like a bird, and its little discs flying around it swarm it like a mothership and come back and rotate around it, waiting almost for some sort of action. You can see two dwarven men are behind the bulb at the top where they're piloting the ship. And you do see at the very end that there is a cannon attached, aimed at the ship, aimed at all of you.
Are you allowed to-
Go ahead.
Zayden, are you? I'll stay with Trent.
All of us.
Shadowblade time.
All of these discs just floating around like flying beetles. And then there's a second where everyone looks, all the other passengers as well, look as if they're trying to figure out what's about to happen. And then purple lights pew, pew, whistle out from the ends of these discs. And you see them hit the deck, and they hit nearby people, and some people even get buzzed by them. And it's like a little electric jolt coming out of all of them in these laser-like shots. The missiles hit the ship, and then the pandemonium begins. And that is where we're going to roll initiative. But first, we'll pause. This chapter's over, and we'll be back for the next one with this battle and the initiatives and whatever's next. You did it!
We're doing it until next week.
I'm gonna die.
We should say this exact same costume, exact same makeup next week.
Absolutely.